Hare Krishna. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Brahmanande, Hari Hari Bol. First of all, offer my billions of obeisances to lotus feet of Asmadi Guru Pad Padma Nikala, Great Guru Shishma Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And also offer obeisances to lotus feet of the Dandi Sannyasi, Shishma Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj, Namnishta Santa Shri Aniruddhas Prabhuji. All the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas they are gathered here, please accept my humble obeisances. We'll be discussing Sri Madhura Kadambini, page number 250. Although Sri Vishnu and Shiva are non-different, only Sri Vishnu is to be worshipped. Evam cha Vishnu Shivayor abheda eva prakar prasaktas chaitanyayika rupyat nishkamer as they are both in the category of independent controllers, it is established conclusively that Sri Vishnu and Lord Shiva are non-different. Nevertheless, for the practitioner who is free from material desires, the subject of one who is to be worshipped and who is not to be worshipped should be discerned after carefully deliberating upon the object of worship's nirgunatva or sagunatva, attribute of being beyond material nature or within material nature. So actually here it is told that we should be dedicated to Vishnu or Krishna exclusively. So very clearly example is given that in Brahma Samhita it is very clearly told Kshiram Yatha Tadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga. Kshiram Yatha Tadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga Sanjayate Netha Pratagasti Hetu. Kshiram Yatha Tadi Vikara Vishesha Yoga Sanjayate Netha Pratagasti Hetu Yarsham Bhutam Tatha Samapaiti Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So here it is told that just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither the same nor different from its cause, is milk. So adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. So you'll see that actually this is actually they call it a reversible, irreversible transformation. Like you convert the milk to yogurt. So milk and will become yogurt. So yogurt actually is um, very much popular in America. Is to see a lot of yogurt being eaten. It's called probiotic. It is very good for stomach. Sometimes you'll see that a lot of people cannot digest milk. So then they are advised to take curd or buttermilk. Generally speaking, in Vedic culture, uh, you have to consume curd or buttermilk in daytime, not in the night time. If you consume curd or buttermilk in the night, it is not good for health. And buttermilk is to be consumed after food, and it is very good digestive. Milk actually is a little hard to digest, and but milk is the original thing. Understand? Milk is original thing, and suppose someone has indigestion due to drinking a lot of milk, then he's given some curd. So curd will help you digest the food properly. Understand? And even the milk which is not digested, it can be digested if you take the curd after. If you have indigestion due to milk. So like cures like. This is the principle. Like cures like. So you see that this yogurt, although attractive, it cannot become milk again. Yogurt will remain yogurt. Actually, once I went with Sripad Dandi Maharaj to one place, Shiv Gange. This is a very nice place where ghee to butter. This actually a pastime takes place. So there's a temple there actually. You'll see actually a Wikipedia page of Shiv Gange. It's a mountain peak with a height of 1,368 meters. So it's a very top place actually. I went to this point, which is shown here. This is the point Sripad Dandi Maharaj and I myself climbed there actually. So this is the point, and they have apparently made one barricade there. Because if you fall down, then death is certain because you're falling from almost 1 kilometer height. So there is actually a temple here, Gavi Gangeshwar temple, and Lord Shiva's deity Shivalinga is there, and those who apply ghee to it, ghee means clarified butter, and it becomes yogurt. It becomes yogurt. So the history of this place is that once Lord Shiva got married to Parvati, but there was a great sage by the name Agastya. And Agastya told that, "Oh Lord, I never got a chance to attend your marriage because I was trying to balance the earth. I was trying to balance the earth because a lot of people had gathered in Kailash and the earth would be imbalanced. And if the earth is imbalanced, everything will fall in the Garbha ocean. I was trying to balance the earth by pressing my toe in the ground in the south part of India, means in this place, Shivgangi. And everyone had gathered in North India. So by my weight, I balanced the earth and saved it from falling in the Milk Ocean or, Garbha Ocean. So I missed your marriage. So Lord Shiva told, don't worry, I'll come regularly and I will you can attend my marriage. Every year I will perform marriage I will perform marriage here with Parvati. So every year there is a marriage is held there. But the beauty of this place is that actually the ghee which is applied on Shivalinga is converted to butter. So this is actually Shiva Abhishek ghee turns butter. Shiva Ganga temple. So see here that uh, generally speaking, last 1,600 years, uh, actually holy place where ghee turns into butter. That was it. So you can go every day. You can take with you the ghee, and you can take the ghee. And we have taken ghee, and then you are right before your eyes. You can bring the ghee from your home also. And the Pujari will take the ghee. He will start applying the ghee to the Shiva Linga. And slowly, slowly, you see that the ghee is generally yellowish in color. The ghee is yellowish in color, but actually it is slowly turning into white butter. So this is actually irreversible. The transformation of butter into ghee is irreversible chemical change because ghee or butter are both are a complex chain of proteins and amino acids and fats. But you see that here they will give you butter as a prasad. Means you give them ghee and they will give you butter. Understand? So here it says that butter turning into ghee or dead man, but this is also Lord Shiva can do anything. So, so you'll see that India is such a wonderful place. So what I'm trying to tell is that Lord Shiva, in order to perform, Lord Krishna himself becomes Shiva in order to annihilate the world. And is in charge of the mode of ignorance. So Piyush Varshini Vritti, it is very clearly told. It is understood from the previous section that Shri Vishnu and Lord Shiva are non-different in terms of tattva solely because they are in the same category of sentience, Ishvara Chaitanya. In other words, by accepting the mode of ignorance, the all-pervading sentient being, Shri Vishnu, for the sake of pastimes, has become Shiva. So, like Shri Vishnu, generally speaking, he is actually in the mode of goodness. And Lord Shiva um, is actually in charge of mode of ignorance. So you see that many times you'll see the picture Hariya Ekatma. Half body is Vishnu and half body is Shiva. Vishnu is always in the mode of goodness. And many times you see that the devotees of Lord Shiva, they are very rich because he bestows wealth upon them. So that's why a lot of materialistic people, they take shelter of Lord Shiva. But devotees of Vishnu, they are very poor. Because Vishnu has told in Bhagavatam also, Yasyaham anupranami harishyata dharmshani. If I really fear someone, then Krishna says that I take away his wealth. So then when I take away his wealth, then everyone will abandon that person. No one likes a poor person. Understand? Like typically, if you see in a typical Indian beggar, there an Indian beggar actually very, very poor. So no one will notice him. Like suppose this beggar you see, and people will actually not notice him. They'll simply go away. If you see beggars, they're very poor. So they get one type of mystic perfection. They become invisible. Poor people become invisible. Do you think that if you are poor, any relatives will come to you? No relatives will come to you. Everyone will abandon you. They will fail to recognize you. Because the moment actually you lose your money, like when I was in America, I was working in Wall Street. So everyone used to ask me, how are you? It's a typical question. How are you? So if you see a rich person, everyone will ask, "How are you, sir? How are you, sir? How are you, sir? How are you?" They will tell you. But as soon as you lose your money and you are poor, then say, "Who are you?" This is the thing. Understand? So if you are rich, then everyone will ask you, "How are you?" And if you are poor, oh, immediately they will tell you, "Who are you?" They'll fail to recognize you. So that's why Krishna, what he does, he takes away the wealth. Takes away the wealth. And this is what the proof in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam says, Yasyaham anugranami harishyeta dhanamshani. Harishyeta dhanamshani. Krishna says, this is 10 canto, 88 chapter, 8 verse. That Bhagavan immediately, Yasyaham anugranami harishyeta dhanamshani. Tato dhanam, tato adhanam tajantasya. Sajana dukha dukkita. Yasyaham anugranami harishyeta dhanamshani. Tato dhanam tajanti asya swajana dukha dukkita. The personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. The first blow is that he has lost the money, and the second blow is that all his relatives have abandoned him. Understand? So now he has no money. Understand? That person has completely lost the money as soon as he started Krishna Bhakti, and then relatives and friends are gone. They're just gone from your life. That's it. They have said bye bye to you. Hasta la vista. Sayonara. Because you have no money. And then what happens? That person becomes even more distressed. And in such a condition, he surrenders to Krishna totally. But Shiva is not like that. Those who surrender to Shiva, Shiva bestows upon them great wealth. Because he is always with Parvati, who is Trigunamai. So by the power of his Parvati, he can bestow unlimited wealth. But what happens to those who have wealth? Then what happens? They become very puffed up, like Ravana. Ah. Ravana was recipient of Lord Shiva's mercy, and as a result, Ravana, you see that he kidnapped even Sita. So wealth actually brings a lot of pride, false pride. That's why Krishna, first thing he does, he takes away the wealth of the devotees, and he makes them poor. But devotees are not poor; they have the wealth of Krishna Bhakti. So that's why you'll see that Kamsa used to worship Rangeshwar. Ah. And he used to worship the Rangeshwar deity of Kamsa. And that's how he became very powerful. Generally, demons worship Lord Shiva. But devotees, Narayana Kala Shanta, Bhajanti Anusuyava. So Bhagavatam says, Narayana Kala Shanta, Bhajanti Anusuyava. The devotees who are completely in mode of goodness and who are not envious of others, what they will do? Mokshava Ghora Rupam, Hitva Bhutapatin Atha, Narayana Kala Shanta Bhajanti Anusuyava. It's actually original Bhagavatam, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Moksha, person desiring liberation, Ghoram, horrible, ghastly Rupam, forms like that, Hitva, rejecting, Bhutapati and demigods, Atha, for this reason, Narayana, the personality of Godhead, Kalaha, misery portions, Shanta, all blissful, Bhajanti, do worship. He is certainly Anusuyava, non-envious. Persons who are serious about liberation from the material conditions are certainly non-envious and respectful to all, yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of demigods and do worship the all blissful forms of Vishnu and his plenary portion. For example, you are given a choice that you worship Kali, understand? And you look at the form of Kali, and you'll see that it's a ghastly form. She is having one asura in her hand, blood is falling. Then also the skull necklace, and around her waist, she is tying the severed hands of the demons, Mayavadis. Understand? Very ferocious form. Hmm. And actually, this particular form of Kali, very, very ferocious. But as against, you see the form of Krishna, and this form is playing flute and very charming, very, very attractive. He's sometimes smiling, sometimes joking, attracting by gopis by playing the flute, is dancing with them. And you'll see that Krishna, his form is very, very charming. All love affairs with the gopis. So what will you want to worship? Naturally, your choice will be Krishna because he's very, very peaceful and full of bliss. Understand? So Narayana Kala Shanta Bhajanti Anusuyava. So this is very, very clear. So today is also celebrating, I think, Shri Bhakti Budev Shoti Goswami Maharaj Tithi is also there. December 20th is the disappearance of Bhakti Budev Shoti Goswami Maharaj tomorrow. A great personality. So we'll come back to our text here that it is also understood that only Shiva accepts this material mode, not Shri Sadashiva. So you'll see that Lord Shiva and Sadashiva is different. Sadashiva is actually Srila Vishwanath Thakur writes in his Sri Bhagavatamrita Kana, Kimcha Sadashiva Swayam Rupango Vishesh Swarupaha Nirgunaha Swa Shivasya. The Sadashiva is not a Gunavata. Just like Sri Narayan, who is transcendental to material nature, Sadashiva is a special expansion of Sri Krishna himself and the origin of the Gunavatar Shiva. Sri Sadashiva resides in Sadashiva Loka above the casual causal ocean, which is beyond Maya, while the Gunavatar Shiva resides on Mount Kailash. So actually, this is a very nice Siddhanta we are learning out here. Because these are very deep topics, but I'll try to explain that we are living. Sorry. We are living in a material world, and this is called Bhuloka. Understand? This is Bhuloka. And above the Bhuloka, there is Bhuvar Loka. And above the Bhuvar Loka, there is Swarga Loka. Swarga means heavenly planets where Indra and other demigods stay. Above that, there is Jana Loka, where Bhrigu and other progenitors stay. Above that, above that, Mahar Loka. And you'll see that above Mahar Loka, for example, when the cosmic annihilation takes place, it affects these particular three planets. Understand? So these particular three planets, they are affected when actually the cosmic annihilation takes place. And these three are burnt. But these Janaloka, Maharloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka, they are not affected. After every day of Brahma, these three planets are not affected. Tapoloka. And here the four Kumaras stay. Four Kumaras. They are living here in this plane. And above that is Satyaloka. So Satyaloka is where Lord Brahma is staying. And so you see that beyond this, after this Satyaloka, there is one river. And that river is called Viraja river. Now what is Viraja river? V means not. And Raja means mode of passion. Or three modes. The place which is devoid of three modes, that's called Viraja. Means, so beyond this Viraja river, you'll find the Brahma Loka. Brahma Loka, this is the place where two types of persons enter. The demons killed by Lord Krishna, they go to this Brahma Jyoti or Brahma Loka, Lord Krishna, and the sannyasis who are monist. Monist means they actually are Mayavadis, followers of Shankaracharya. Like for example, I'll show you Shankaracharya of Puri. So they are actually Mayavadis. You see Tripunda Tilak, and they follow this Swami Nishchananda, a very learned person. I'm not showing any disrespect towards him, but they do not accept that God has form. Understand? They think that everything is Brahma and we will merge in Brahma when we die and we don't have to come back. So those are Abhedavadis, monists. They actually his spiritual master actually discovered Vedic mathematics, which was ancient science. He rediscovered it. He lives in Govardhan Mutt. I met him once actually. So very learned person, but actually these Mayavadis generally they go to this Brahma Jyoti or Brahma Loka, which is above this Viraja river. So two persons, the demons killed by Lord Krishna and sannyasis who are monist, they go to Brahma Loka. But above Brahma Loka, there is Sadashiva Loka. In Sadashiva Loka, Lord Shiva is staying there. But then Lord Sadashiva, he will descend to Kailasha planet. Descend to Kailash planet. So, in the material world. But he will descend with limited entourage. Understand? Means he will not bring all the associates. Not bringing all associates. He will bring only limited associates, limited paraphernalia. Understand? So we are talking when we are saying Sadashiva, so that is the Sadashiva. And above that begins the Vaikuntha planet. Vaikuntha planet. Understand? So this Sadashiva is the origin of the Sadashiva is actually the origin of Shiva Tattva, who's Guna Avatar in the material world. Understand? But Sadashiva is Vishnu. Don't forget that Advaita Acharya, when we discuss Advaita Acharya, what is Advaita Acharya? Advaita Acharya is called ingredient cause plus efficient cause. Understand? For example, what is ingredient cause and what is efficient cause? If you want to say Sanskrit, then this is called Upadan Karan. Upadan Karan. And this will be cause Nimitta Karan. Nimitta Karan. For example, you see a potter, not Harry Potter, but a potter. A potter is making pots, and he has a clay, and he has a wheel. So when he is making a pot, this pot is called ingredient cause. And the potter himself is the efficient cause. Understand? And using the wheel. So when the pot is manifesting, it has two causes. Understand? The pot has two causes. The potter is the efficient cause and clay is the ingredient cause. So in India, you might have seen how the pots are made. And potter is making pots, and you will see here that he will simply use the clay and he will shape it. The wheel is actually revolving, and he is able to make a pot. So you see how the shape is given. Understand? So clay is malleable. The clay is ductile and malleable, can be easily shaped, but it needs some art to make a pot. So there's the potter and also the clay. The clay is the ingredient cause and the potter is the efficient cause. And this is how the pot is made. It's an art. The wheel is spinning and nice shape is coming. Understand? So nice shape is coming like this. You can see how wonderful pot can be made like this. So it's basically just using fingers, you see. Not many tools are used there. Not many tools are used, but this wonderful pot is being manifest. So the point I'm making here is that the pot has two causes, the efficient cause and the ingredient cause. So this material world, efficient cause of this material world, how this material world is produced? Then this material world is produced by efficient cause, who is Mahavishnu. And there is also ingredient cause in this material world, and that is Sadashiva. Understand? So Sadashiva plus Mahavishnu creates this material world. And Advaita Acharya is the combination of these two things. So if you Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu plus he is actually Sadashiva. Is both. Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. And that's why sometimes a question may be asked that can Advaita Acharya give us Gopi Bhav? As a Mahavishnu, he cannot give us Gopi Bhav, but as Sadashiva, Because he is Sada Shiva, he can certainly give us Gopi Bhav. Why? Because Lord Shiva himself became Gopishwar Mahadev. Like in Vrindavan, you'll go, that you'll see a temple of Gopishwar Mahadev. And this Gopishwar Mahadev is actually dressed like Gopi. Understand? In Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, you'll see this is Lord Shiva. And on his forehead, crescent moon you can see on the top. And by the mercy of Yoga Maya, he became Gopi and he was able to get a chance to see Ras Leela. So Shiva, you see, put a sari, nice sari. Morning time is decorated like Lord Shiva, but evening time, when the Ras Leela takes place in the evening time, he is dressed like a Gopi every evening. So this is the Gopishwar Mahadev. Lord Shiva himself became a Gopi by the mercy of Lord Krishna. Understand? So Gopishwar Mahadev, he is the origin of Tattva. Actually, the Gopishwara, very special. Nowhere in the world you'll see Lord Shiva with actually nose ring. You see, Shiva is dressed with a nose ring. Wonderful Gopi mood is there in him. Also, it is told that how Sadashiv manifested. So actually, Gopishwara how is manifested? It is told that Radharani manifested from the left side of Krishna, and Gopishwar manifested from the right side of Krishna. So Gopishwar manifested from the right side of Krishna. Understand? Both came from Krishna. So, anyways, here I give some outline of Lord Shiva. So, Sadashiva is Vishnu Tattva. He is not a Gunavatar. So, Shri Sadashiva is not a Gunavatar, just like Shri Narayan, who is transcendental to material nature. Sadashiva is a special expansion of Shri Krishna himself and the origin of the Gunavatar Shiva. Shri Sadashiva resides in Sadashiva Loka above the causal ocean, which is beyond Maya, while the Gunavatar Shiva resides on the Mount Kailash. Srila Vishwanatha Thakur has established the oneness of Sri Vishnu and Lord Shiva from the perspective of their both being the independent sentient beings. He now considers the matter further from the perspective of worship. A selfless sadhaka must determine his object of worship only after ascertaining whether or not his object of veneration is touched by the material modes. So actually a question was asked by Parikshit Maharaj. Now Parikshit Maharaj was kind of very much perplexed as to that you see that Lord Shiva, he lives where? Cremation ground. Understand? Lord Shiva is living in cremation ground. And he is where you see dead bodies are burnt. He applies the ashes from the dead bodies which are burnt, and those ashes he are applied. And Lord Shiva is living in the cremation ground. He is surrounded by snakes. He is sometimes naked, and that's why he's called Digambar. And sometimes he'll wear the skin of deer or maybe tiger around his waist. And also his belt is snakes. His earrings are of snake. His armlets, leglets, his all ornaments are made of snakes. So that Lord Shiva doesn't look auspicious at all, but actually he is the most auspicious personality. Shiva Janata Nama Prabhavani Ko Kala Kuta Faladina Amiko Nama Prabhav Shambhu Avinashi Saja Mangala Mangala Rashi Mangala Bhavana Mangala Hari Dramahu Sodasarath Ajira Vihari. So Lord Shiva, Goswami Tulsidas, the great narrator of Ramayana in vernacular language Hindi, Goswami Tulsidas, he says that Lord Shiva looks very inauspicious, but is actually the abode of all auspiciousness. And in order to serve Ram, my Shiva has become Hanuman. Hanuman is Shiva only. So Goswami Tulsidas has told his tattva. And Goswami Tulsidas also had darshan of Lord Ram by the mercy of Hanuman only. Without the mercy of Shiva, it is not difficult to get Krishna Bhakti, it is quite impossible. Quite impossible to get Krishna Bhakti. You'll see that Sridhar Maharaj Guru, or Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Maharaj Gurudev, Siddhanti Maharaj, he has written this conclusion. So Bhakti Shrup Siddhanti Maharaj, in his matha, he established Shiva Linga actually on the back, Kopishwar Mahadev. He says Shiva is most merciful, and without his mercy, it is quite impossible to get Krishna Bhakti. And that's why Srila Gurudev also used to fast on the Mahashivratri day to honor Sadashiva. But because Shiva is always with Parvati, who's Trigunamayi, he can bestow the wealth. But Lord Krishna, he doesn't consort with Parvati. Lord Krishna is always with Radharani. Understand? So basically, Radharani, she is Swarup Shakti of Krishna. And completely free from modes of material nature. Understand? While Parvati, she is actually the ruler of lower nature, Prakriti. That is called material energy. She is the material energy personified. And that's why those who worship Lord Shiva by the mercy of Parvati, they get all this material wealth. But what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that all this wealth, Parvati can bestow upon you a good wife. She will bestow a good wife, beautiful wife, big house, bank balance. But ultimately, when death comes, what will happen to all these things? Oh, all these things will be taken away from you. Understand? Mrityu sarvaharashchaham. Krishna says, I am the wealth who takes away everything. All your wealth. Wealth is temporary, right? Just I was reading a news actually. After our Elon Musk, a very famous rich person in the world, he took over Twitter. He lost so much money, millions and millions of dollars were actually gone. Understand, from his portfolio. So while money is I told last time also that this wealth is temporary. So Krishna doesn't bestow this temporary wealth on his devotees. He likes to bestow permanent wealth of bhakti. Understand? So it was previously stated that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma fulfill the desires of those who worship them with a yearning for the fruit of their worship. People who desire material wealth are naturally inclined to worship the demigods and goddesses who are within the material modes. For example, you'll see the story of Vritrasura. He actually, what he did, Vrikasura, the Vrikasura demon, he offered Krishna, he was about to offer his own head. He was about to offer his own head to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva caught his hand. And he said, don't offer your head to me. Understand? And bestowed him benediction. Then Vrikasura chasing Lord Shiva. He saw that with Vrikasura, what he saw? That with Lord Shiva, there is very beautiful Parvati. And this Parvati, I want to marry her. So this demon, Vrikasura, very wicked demon. Demons are generally he started chasing Parvati, chasing Lord Shiva. Shiva running here and there. And then Lord Vishnu came in shape of Brahmachari. He came in the shape of Brahmachari. He said, Vrikasura, sir, why you are running so fast? He said, I am trying to chase Lord Shiva down. I want to catch him and put my hand over his head, because he has given me benediction that whoever head I will put my hand, he will be burnt to ashes. Then Lord Vishnu said, oh, Lord Shiva is taking ganja. Shiva is taking intoxication ganja. And he is very much intoxicated. So he doesn't know what he is speaking, and he has given you actually a false boon. Try it yourself. Put your hand on your head. And then Lord then Vrikasur, the demon, put his hand over his head and he was burnt to ashes. Or his head was broken into hundreds of pieces. Either way, he was destroyed by Lord Shiva's um benediction given to him only. So Lord Vishnu turned the tables on Vrikasur. So the point I'm making is that these demons, they get benediction from Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and then they become a very big challenge for Shiva and Brahma themselves and for the whole world. And the whole world has to actually suffer the consequences of the benedictions given by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. And actually, a good example of this is Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was such a ferocious demon that Lord himself had to come in the shape of Narsingadev and had to destroy him. Because he became very strong by the boon given by Lord Brahma. Ravan also became strong by the boon given by Lord Brahma. And Bhagavan had to come to destroy him as Ramchandra. So that's why the demons have ulterior motives and they worship Brahma and Shiva. But Lord Vishnu, he is actually very merciful. Lord Vishnu says, if someone, uh, your 5-year-old child, he will tell, Father, give me poison. I want to drink poison. Will you give him poison? No, I will not give him poison. So all the materialistic persons, they will tell, give me women, wealth, wine. I want these things. And Lord Krishna says, no, I will not give you women, wealth and wine. Not possible. Understand? I will not give you them. I will give you prema, bhakti. That's what Krishna gives. People ask for poison, but any loving father will not give poison. So Krishna is the eternal father of the whole world. How can he give poison to all his living entities who are his children? We don't look as Krishna as like my father, although he is a father. We look upon him as our Radharani's best friend and Radharani's divine consort, Radharani's beloved. That is how we look upon Krishna. But really speaking, Krishna is the father of the whole world. Why would he give poison to the people who ask him like this? Once Narad actually, he had this desire. Narad developed a pride that I have conquered lust. I have conquered lust. Alright? Then Narad was thinking like this. He went to Lord Shiva. And then Lord Shiva told him, oh, you told me, but don't tell anyone. Hmm. You don't tell anyone that you have conquered lust. Then anyways, um, so Narad Muni is actually a great devotee. But somehow, by the desire of Bhagavan, he developed the false pride. And Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, he always is very expert in removing the false pride. So when he boasted and he told Lord Shiva that I have conquered lust, Lord Shiva gave him good advice. Don't tell to anyone. Don't be under false impression that you have conquered lust. But anyways, Narad Muni went to Lord Krishna and told him that I have conquered lust. And then when he said that I have conquered lust, Lord Krishna, he wanted to remove his Maya. And then what Lord Krishna did, he made Lakshmi into a big princess. And Lakshmi, she became a very beautiful princess. And there was actually a wedding of Lakshmi. And that princess was so beautiful that Narad Muni went to the father of that princess, the king. And king told, look at the palm of my daughter and see what type of husband she will get. When Narad Muni was looking at the palm of that princess, Narad Muni fell in love with that princess. And he said, I will marry her. So therefore, but how will princess marry him? Because she will marry only a handsome person. So Narad Muni went to Narayan and he told Narayan that, please give me the form as beautiful as you. Then Narayan gave to say, I will give you the form as beautiful as myself. He said, I will do what will be beneficial for you. And then Narad Muni returned and the princess was about to choose her husband. That is called something called Swayamvar. Swayamvara means the women had uh, ability to choose their husband. Choose their husband. Like Sita also, she had ability to choose. So many princes and kings would come and they will ask her hand, but they have to fulfill the condition. They have to break the bow off. They have to break the bow. Understand? So this is called Swayamvar. It was very much common. So Narad Muni stood in the queue for getting married, just like Draupadi Swayamvar. It was open challenge. You simply pierce the eye. You simply pierce the eye of fish, which is rotating. Understand? So that is how it's called Swayamvar. The Swayamvar is like that. So that Rajkanya was standing there with a garland in her hand, and every prince was standing in a queue before her. Narad Muni went before her, and then you see that Narad Muni, she didn't like him. She actually turned away her head in disgust, looking at the face of Narad Muni. Then Narad Muni again stood in the queue, and then again that princess turned her head away in disgust, seeing Narad Muni's face. Then Narad Muni didn't realize what is happening. There were two followers of Lord Shiva. They were actually laughing at him. They were laughing at Narad Muni. Narad Muni didn't know what to do. He went to nearby lake near the palace of the king, and he saw that he had a monkey face. Narad Muni had a monkey face. Narad Muni, he became very much perturbed. He said, Narayan, I told that I want beautiful form, and he gave me monkey face. What is happening out here? Uh, and he became very angry. And he cursed Narayan. Because here given, you see here, Narad Muni has the monkey face. And that's why these three particular princes, who's nothing but actually Lakshmi, who was disguised as a princess, didn't accept him as the husband. Because who will accept a person with a monkey face? And who gave that monkey face to Narad Muni? Narayan himself. So now he became very angry with Narayan. When he looked at his reflection in the pond, in the water, he saw he had monkey face. He went to Narayan and told, you today, because you had given me monkey face, that princess rejected me. I am feeling a deep separation from her. And some other prince came and he took her away. So I curse you that you will also feel separation from your wife. And you have to take birth on the earth. And when you take birth on the earth, your wife will be kidnapped. 1 year she will be away from you. I curse you, O Narayan. And also monkeys will only help you recover your wife. Because you gave me the face of monkeys, so you have to take the help of monkeys only to recover your wife. Narayan, all right, this is a great mercy you have done by cursing me like this. I will appear on the earth. I will appear on the earth as Ramchandra. And Ravan will kidnap my wife. And monkeys like Hanuman and Sugrivan, Angad will help me recover my wife. So your curse will not go in vain. So anyways, Narad Muni, he was actually got a face of a monkey. Because Lord wanted to break his pride. Lord cannot tolerate the... Because what Narad Muni said, I conquered Kamadev. Indra sent him to tempt me, but Kama failed. Indra, generally he will see that if anyone is doing austerities, he will try to make him fall down. So that's why when Narad Muni was doing austerities, Indra sent some apsaras, the celestial damsels. And these apsaras tried to make Narad fall down, but they could not make him fall down. So Narad developed the pride, I have conquered lust. So Lord removed his pride like that by giving his monkey face. And that's why this entire Ramayana happened by the curse of Shri Narad Muni. Understand? So generally speaking, the benedictions given by the demigods, they are disastrous. But Krishna's benedictions are very beneficial. Krishna will always try to remove the false pride. So people who desire material wealth are naturally inclined to worship the demigods and demigoddesses who are within the material modes. But selfless sadhakas of bhakti do not have a trace of desire for any temporary illusory object. They desire only the eternal treasure of prema, leaving aside the worship of Shiva and Brahma, who are of the material modes. They worship Sri Hari, who is transcendent into those modes, and untouched by Maya, because their worship is transcendental. They remain constantly immersed in relishing Sri Hari's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, and their ambrosial service to him. So, for example, an annoyed devotee like this is Kolavecha Sridhar. Kolavecha Sridhar was actually Mahaprabhu's associate, understand? And he was living in a small hut and near Ganga. And every day he used to, he was a simple Brahmin, and every day he used to sell plantain, and then he used to sell the um, plantain is very common in India, and actually I have seen the plantain and the bananas. These are actually the different types of bananas are there, but there is actually some athia kala. Athia kala. Once I was honoring Prasad on in Navadvip, and there was actually I saw athia kala means like the uh, banana with seeds in it. I was very surprised. I had never seen actually. So Kola Chashidhar used to sell plantain and papayas and the trunks of the plantain tree and all those things. They make sabji and the flowers of the plantain tree. They make. I don't know whether you have seen flower of the plantain. Those who have visited India, they will see that there is actually a flower of that's called flower of plantain, reddish in color, looks like a bell, big bell, and like a little bit tilted down. So very charming actually. These flowers they make nice sabji. I eaten this sabji. So Mahaprabhu used to come and fight with Kolavich Shiva and used to say, "Give me the plantain flower, give me plantain kran, give me plantains, give me the gourd. Gourd is actually the kubra." So, like this. Generally speaking, we don't take ash good. Vishnu, I don't think the ash good sabji is as good. Generally, Vaishnavas, I have not seen so much using ash good for Thakur's offering. But this is ash good, and a lot of yogis they recommend that use ash good juice. It's very cooling. But we use the kumra. Kumra is actually red good, very good for health. On Ekadashi, I think also you can take this. So this is the red food you can take. Mahaprabhu used to snatch from Kolavich Sridhar all these things. And Kolavich Sridhar used to protest. And he says, I'm a poor man. You are taking all this my produce free of charge. How will I survive? And also with all the profit I make by selling vegetables, half of that profit goes for worshipping the Ganges River. Half of that profit goes for worshipping the Ganges River. How will I survive? How will I survive? But anyways, Mahaprabhu used to lovingly take all the vegetables given by him. Because he was his Sakha. Ganga or some Sakha in Krishna's pastimes. Understand? But Mahaprabhu should tell him, why don't you worship Durga? She will give you wealth. Then Kolavich Sridhar used to say that I have a roof on my head. It is maybe a broken roof and rain may be coming from the roof. But still I have some shelter. I may be wearing torn clothes, but I have some clothes to wear. I may be eating simple food stuff, but I get Mahaprasad anyways. So I don't want to worship Durga and Kali and Ganesh and Kartikeya for wealth because I don't desire wealth. I only want Krishna Prem. So Mahaprabhu was very satisfied by his unalloyed devotion. Generally speaking, uh, the devotees worship obstacles removing. They worship Narsingadev. They worship Narsingadev. But when you approach Narsingadev with material desires, so when you approach Narsingadev with material desires, Narsinga will be transformed into Ganesh. That same Narsingadev will become Ganesh for fulfilling your material desires. Understand? So when you approach with spiritual desires and you want to remove the obstacles in bhakti, then who will fulfill them? Your spiritual desires and removing the obstacles in the path of spirituality, Narsingadev will fulfill that. But when you have material desires and you want to remove material obstacles, then who will fulfill that? Ganesh will fulfill that. Understand? So that's why you see that um, Narsingapalli, uh, that is where Narsingadev is present. If anyone has any obstacle in practicing Gaura Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, then actually we have to approach this Narsingadev and he is the remover of all the obstacles. Hmm. So that's why we do go to Narsingapalli. Because Narsingadev removes all obstacles which come in the Rupanuga Bhakti. All our sannyasis, followers of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they visit the Sri Narsingapalli. It's a very glorious place. And generally speaking, we don't worship Ganesh as much. We respect him, uh, but Ganesh actually is circumambulated. Ganesh also was not was not worshipped first. I understand. Ganesh was. There was once a competition apparently that who will circumambulate the globe first. The whole material world, you have to circumambulate the entire Brahmanda. So Ganesh thought my vehicle is a mouse. Understand? And I will not be able to move very fast. So what Ganesh did, he went to the ocean and in the sand he drew the Ram Nam and he did 4 rounds, 4 circumambulations. And he circumambulated, understand? And what happened? Because he circumambulated the Ram Nam 4 times, he got the benefit of circumambulating all the material world. Understand? He came was first. As a result, he was declared that he has circumambulated the globe first. Understand? So Ganesha Pratama Puja was the Nama Prabhav. It is the power of the Ram Nam that Ganesh is worshipped first. But we don't worship Ganesh because Ganesh will only give us material wealth and remove our material obstacles. But we want to remove our obstacles from spiritual path and want to get the spiritual wealth of Krishna Prem, Gaur Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, then we should worship Narsingadev. Narsingadev will always remove the obstacles in Krishna Bhakti. Understand? But when we approach Narsingadev with material desires, he will immediately become Ganesha. So here, um, it was previously stated that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma fulfill the desires of those who worship them with a yearning for the fruit of their worship. People who desire material wealth are naturally inclined to worship the demigods and goddesses who are within the material modes. But selfless sadhakas of bhakti do not have a trace of desire for any temporary, illusory object. They desire only the eternal treasure of prema, leaving aside the worship of Shiva and Brahma, who are of the material modes. They worship Sri Hari, who is transcendental to those modes and untouched by Maya. Because their worship is transcendental, they remain constantly immersed in relishing his names, forms, qualities, pastimes, and their approachable service to him. Not to speak of worldly wealth, they would not accept even the 4 types of liberation, such as living on the same planet as Bhagwan, Salukya, if were offered by them. Salukya Sasti Samipya Ekatvam Apyuta. Diyamanam na Gradanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. Shri Kapil Dev said, my dear mother, despite being offered the various kinds of liberation, living on the same planet as me, Salukya, possessing the same opulence as me, Sarshti, residing near me, Samipya, possessing a form like me, Sarupya, and merging into my effulgence, Ekatva or Sayujya, my pure devotees do not accept them. They accept only transcendental loving service to me. So basically, the 5 liberations the devotees don't want to accept. They say, no, we don't want 5 types of liberation. Uh, they are not interested in this type of liberation. What they want is vimukti, special mukti, and especially bhakti. Understand? That can only come by bhakti. So that's why we should perform bhakti to Krishna without any material desires. Indeed, it is necessary for such motivated worshippers to remember this. Although the demigods and the goddesses were materially covered are easily pleased and thus bestow material wealth and opulence upon the worshipper, as soon as there is the slightest discrepancy in that worship, they curse him. Understand? So you see that it is very much big problem because demigods and demigoddesses, they're pleased very easily and they curse also very easily. They can become angry also if you become puffed up. You can be cursed also. But Lord Krishna is not like that. He is very merciful. Okay. So sometimes the demigods and goddesses fall into difficulty as a result of the benedictions they offer, having failed to anticipate the repercussions. We see in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.88 that Sriman Mahadev offered the demon Vrikasur the benediction that if Vrikasur placed his hand on placed his hand on someone's head, that person would die. Upon receiving this benediction, Vrikasur wanted to test it by placing his hand upon Lord Mahadev's head, Shiva's head. Mahadev fled in fear and Vrikasur gave chase. So we'll stop here today. Today is very auspicious day, Safara Ekadashi. So tomorrow is Paran. After sunrise, some calendars say like this, but our ISKCON calendar and also here Sri Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, but connected. This is after 8:10 and before 9:49, the parents. So anyways, Shripa Dandi Maharaj, he said, okay, we can wait till 8:10 or 8:11, whatever time it is, sunrise time, and then we can do Paran. So thank you so much. Vanchakam Patalavesha Krupa Sindhu Paridanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. If anyone has any comments or questions, please ask. Hare Krishna.
Hey Krishna Dandavat Prams, thank you so much. I'm sorry about yesterday, I couldn't attend. We had bad weather on Saturday,
Right.
so the wind actually uprooted trees and the pole lines and people's houses.
Okay.
So a lot has been damaged. So we couldn't get Wi-Fi because of the heavy
Oh,
rain and the wind was blowing.
oh,
So that's the reason I couldn't. And today as well, there was no power for a while, and then just before class, power came back. So that's how I
all
attended
right.
today.
That happens in India too
So
many
thank
times.
you, Mark.
In Puri especially. There's actually this Puri temple. This actually has a chakra on the top actually, and many times um, this chakra diverts the cyclone. So this Puri temple, this chakra is very
Oh,
powerful. So when the cyclone is coming in the direction of Puri, some rays come from this chakra and then they divert the cyclone somewhere else. So Puri is a very wonderful. So Bhagwan's verse is always there to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. This is the ceremony actually. In Jagannath Puri, you'll see that on top of the temple every day in the evening time they change the flag. This is quite difficult task. So much risk is involved. But those sevakas, they have to climb this top every day. They are trained from very early age. They are blindfolded and they have to get down into a well in the village, and they are trained from childhood, so they are not afraid. But anyone else like will look down like this and will become very scared that how the flag changing is done every day. They climb with flags, and this is the only temple in the whole world, I think, where the flag is changed every day. And there is no other place maybe like this. And they say that if they don't change the flag, then the temple will remain closed for so many days. The temple will remain closed for many, many days if the flag is not changed. Understand? So that's why um, cyclone is diverted by the presence of this particular chakra on the top of this. So that's why we have to always pray to Lord Jagannath that whatever obstacles come on our way, that He can remove the obstacles. Because Jagannath is the Supreme Lord, understand? He's Krishna only. We have to pray to Lord Krishna, Lord Jagannath, that please remove the obstacles in our life. Cyclone, Sita, Atapa, Batabarishana, Edina, Jamini, Jagire, Vipala se vino, Krupana Durjana, Chapala Sukhalava Lagire, Vajahure Vana, Srinandanandana, Abhaya Charanara Vindare. दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संगे करह ए भव सिंधुरे भजहुरे मन श्री नंद नंदन अभय चरणार विंदरे. Actually, I was reading, Sripad Dandi Maharaj also told a history, and it's a very famous history of Lord Jagannath, that how in Lord Jagannath temple, there was actually a big bell is there, big bell, and there's a history behind it. And this bell was actually going to a church in South India, and one Portuguese captain of a ship was actually going to bring that. So you see that in Orissa Post, a story of that is actually mentioned. That Bito's bell, a gigantic bell now on display at Nilagiri near PCM near the western gate of Sri Mandir, portrays one of the myriad embodiments of Lord Jagannath's blessings on devotees surrendered to him. Storm in sea. This dates back to the mid 18th century when Goa, Daman, Diu, and Pondicherry were under Portuguese rule. Captain Bito from France was sailing with his men to a small French settlement in Pondicherry, where the country's largest church was being built. A special bell for the church was on board the ship. Although most of the crew and passengers were French, a few Indians were also on board. After unloading the cargo at Pondicherry, the French ship was to return to Europe. As they passed through the Bay of Bengal and were sailing near Puri, the captain's eyes caught the sight of an impending storm and a large sea creature advancing towards the ship. Could that be a giant whale or some monstrous sea animal big enough to cause a catastrophe to the ship? Alas, the gusting winds are tearing the sails. There seems no way out to tackle the unavoidable end. The captain muttered to himself. Haunted by helplessness, he rang the warning bell and shouted to the crew to look out for themselves. In no time, some frightened passengers encircled him with others, while others took unsuccessful attempts to save their lives. Says Surendra Kumar Mishra, a scholar at Sri Jagannath Sanskrit University in Puri. He says the more he observed the approaching danger, the more he capitulated to it. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Any hope to save a single passenger looked keen. Within the shadow of death looming large, a bewildered Bito was running about the ship frantically when he caught the sight of a composed elderly man sitting quietly on the upper deck of the ship without a sign of anxiety. Mishra says, surprised by his calmness, the captain asked, "What are you doing?" "I am praying Lord Jagannath," the old man replied, pointing to a hand drawn portrait of three deities that he held close to his heart. "Who is he?" asked the captain. "Who is he?" asked the captain, pointing to Lord Jagannath. "He is the supreme solace, the savior. He will certainly save us from this disaster." The old man replied before resuming his prayer. With death approaching on one hand and no option on the other, the captain offered his prayers to the Lord, saying, "O God, please save us from this catastrophe." Perplexed, the captain surveyed again. To his surprise, he saw through his binocular the whale changing its course and the storm losing its temper. Within seconds, the storm died and the ship had smooth sailing, says Mishra. The captain announced, "We are saved. Lord Jagannath saved us from sure death." With tears welling up in his eyes, Vito rushed to the old man and embraced him. "Lord Jagannath has answered our prayers," he said in a choking voice. "What can I do for the pleasure and mercy of the Lord? I can offer the bell which was intended to be sent to Pondicherry Church to Lord Jagannath," the French captain said. After a few days, the ship anchored off the Puri shore. Vito presented the bell and cash to the temple. He lowered his head and paid obeisances to the Lord near the lion's gate. Act of faith. Vito's act of faith and admiration for Lord Jagannath created a furor in Europe, with the Pope pressurizing the French government to take back the bell from the Lord's abode. After drawing flack from several quarters, the French government wrote to the British in India to return the bell, but to no avail. Even the Sri Mandir authorities rejected the demand, saying donations once made become his property. In a desperate attempt to take back the bell, the French government approached Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, but in vain. The bell, which was on display on the northern part of the shrine, was used in the rituals. However, due to prolonged exposure to adverse climate, it developed cracks. A Nepal king donated another bell that replaced Vito's, Mishra says, adding it now on display at Niladri Vihar Museum. So, anyways, this is a very wonderful story. So, this storm actually, Lord Jagannath countered this storm. So, Jagannath is actually very, very powerful. And that's why we pray to Lord Jagannath. And there are actually some, you'll see that on the bell, it's a different design actually. We see that the bell actually has a different design. So, it is still there in the museum. This huge bell actually. Is So Lord Jagannath is in control. So we do proper Ekadashi and we chant Hare Krishna Mantra, Shri Gurudev has told, Shri Gandhi Maharaj has told. Then certainly will benefit and will make advancement in Bhakti. Hare Krishna. Pancharta Patra Vishya Pasana, Paridhanam Pavane Krishna Mitra. Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. So we'll do some little kirtan and we'll end our class. Unless somebody has any questions. Hare
Haribol Maharaj.
Govinda. Huh?
Sorry, Maharaj. Ananga Mohania, sorry to bother you. I'd just like to know where we stopped on today's teaching.
Oh, today's okay. I'll check out here. I would say page number 252.
Okay,
Page
no problem.
number 252.
Okay.
Page number 252. And so last but one paragraph. 252.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Maharaj.
I can see here. Hare Krishna. गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, this is also one nice story Sripad Dandiwara told me long time ago. Very much interesting. There was actually one British governor by the name Mr. Thomas Munro. and he was an appointee of Queen. Queen had appointed him to look after the southern part of India. And once he went to the hermitage of Sri Raghavendra Swami. Raghavendra Swami had taken Samadhi and he entered Samadhi, and he demanded taxes on the Samadhi and the properties of the monastery. He demanded taxes. So Raghavendra Swami came out of the Samadhi, gave him darshan. No one could see him, only Thomas Mandro could see him. And Raghavendra Swami convinced him that he should not tax this property which is meant for the service of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So he was very happy and he accepted the rice which was given to him, some prasadi rice and some grains, rice grains. He went home and cooked those grains and ate them. He told the cook he had that please cook these grains which are given to me by Raghavendra Swami and I'll eat it. So then all the sannyasis of Raghavendra Swami Mutt, they became very surprised that, how come Gurudev didn't give us darshan? He gave darshan to this lecture, Muslim, this particular Christian person who's, low class person. But they wanted to fast and they were about to fast. And Raghavendra Swami told them that he was my classmate. He was my classmate when I was actually studying in the school of Shanda Namardo. He was one demon boy, and I promised him that time in Satyuga that I will give you a chance in Kalyuga to render some service to me. And that's why now he will he will waive our taxes and will write to the queen that don't tax the property of Raghavendra Swami Mutt. So he will do that seva, and I had promised him that I will give him that seva in Satyuga. So you don't fast. This is actually a long deal actually. So he was the governor of Madras, Major General Sir Thomas Munro. He's actually was the governor of Madras. He died at Putte Chondaha on the 6th July 1827 and was interred at Gutti, where the court of directors have erected a monument to his memory. His remains were afterwards removed to the seat of government, and his widow has raised this stone to mark the spot. Understand? So basically, he was actually a classmate of Shri, and there is statue also. You'll see that in Chennai. Thomas Munro's equestrian statue sitting on the horse. Thomas Munro. He was actually classmate of Sri Raghavendra Swami. So it's not surprising. In India, we believe in rebirth. We believe in birth, rebirth, and reincarnation. So Raghavendra Swami Mutt, you see Raghavendra Swami, he came out of his samadhi, and he was incarnation of Prahlad himself, and he gave the chance to Thomas Munro to do some seva. So you see that Raghavendra Swami, he actually convinced him, spoken him in English actually. Raghavendra Swami had taken samadhi many 100 years ago. But he came out of the samadhi to convince Thomas Munro that he shouldn't charge any taxes on the property of the Matha. So like that. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatra Vaishya Kripasana Vaishya Vinamana. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Actually, extract from Madras District Gazetteers by W. Francis, ICS. Mansala, Mantralaya, a Shrotriyam village with a population of 1212 on the bank of Tungabhadra in the extreme north of the taluk. The village is widely known as containing the tomb of the Madhva saint Sri Raghavendra Swami. The annual festival in August connected with which is attended by large number of pilgrims, including even Lingayats from Bombay, the Nizam's dominions, and even Mysore. The tomb itself is not of architectural interest. The grant of the landed endowment attached to it, it is said, is in one of the Mackenzie eminences to have been made by Minkan Pant, the well-known divan of the Mansour Khan. So actually, Thomas Munro, he pardoned the taxes. So actually, a lot of people visit this particular Mantralaya. So Mantralaya is very special because Jaiva Samadhi they took there, Mantralaya, and Shipa Dandi Maharaj actually also very much, very, very famous. And Samadhi, Jaiva Samadhi is there. So a lot of people go there and all their desires are fulfilled when they go to Mantralaya. Hare Krishna. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Is the Samadhi of Sri Brahmana Tirtha, who was the guru of Vyasa Tirtha. Abur, this is the place. The very wonderful Samadhi. This is actually the language which Shika Dandi Maharaj speaks. That he is called Ansha of Surya. He was actually incarnation of sun god. So many times they say that there is no roof on this Samadhi because he forbade them, don't put a roof. They wanted to put a roof. But he said, don't put roof because I am incarnation of sun god. That's why I don't want any. So in Sri Brahmana Tirtharu, who was responsible for the birth, growth, Vidya Ashram of Sri Veda Vyasa, Sri Vyasa Raju, he was born with the name Narsimha. Sri Purushottam Tirtharu gave the sannyas to Brahmana Tirtha as per Swapna Suchana. So his guru was Purushottam. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada writes, Taha ite Brahmana Tirtha Suri Vyasa Tirtha Taradasa Lakshmipati Vyasa Dasa Taha ite Madhavendra. So you see here miracles by Brahmana Tirtharu. Once Brahmana Tirtharu was on a tour in Bannur, Ramacharya, an aged Brahmin died on his way to Ganga Snan. Alright, so Brahman died. Alright, he was about to take bath in Ganga, on the way he died. So he was old Brahman. So Ramacharya's wife wanted to do Sahagamana with her husband and came to Swamiji for seeking Brahman Tirtha Seer's permission for doing so. Now, husband has left the world, Ramacharya has left the world. So his just wife, she wants to ascend the funeral pyre. Understand? That is called sati. That is called sati. In India, that is now forbidden. Sati. Sati is actually in India means a wife will ascend the funeral pyre of the husband. She'll take the husband's dead body on her lap and they will simply set it on fire. You see here, that is how the sati looks like. Husband has left the world and wife will sit and she will, she's immediately she's burnt. So that was actually the process, but now it is the government has forbidden that because many women they were forcefully made to ascend the funeral pyre. There were some women who naturally wanted to ascend the funeral pyre of their husband, but some were actually tricked and forcibly for property and other reasons. They were actually made to ascend. So anyway, this particular woman actually wanted to ascend the funeral pyre of her husband. Ramacharya's wife. She wanted to ascend the funeral pyre because her husband has left the world. And she wants to take the blessings of the sannyasi, Shri Brahmana Tirtha. Oh, I want to ascend the funeral pyre of my husband. But Brahmana Tirtha, even before her seeking permission, told her, Dirgha Sumangali Bhava. Supatravati Bhava. Means, may you remain, your husband live a long life, and may you have many children. May you have very auspicious children, saintly children. On seeing all the Pandits were surprised that a widow is being blessed with the boon of Dirgha Sumangilitva. All the scholars were wondering how can a widow have her husband live a very long life? How the sannyasi is blessing like this? And he's also blessing a widow that may she have very auspicious children, devotee children. What's going on here? So then they apprised him of the situation. They told Swamiji that her husband has died and she cannot have any children. What type of benediction you are giving? But Swamiji told, it is told by Gopal Krishna Devaru, and he will survive, and he will be Satayushi and would have two children. Swamiji told that what I spoke was not spoken by me. Gopal Sri Krishna, the covered boy Sri Krishna, Bhagwan, Sri Krishna spoke from my mouth. So he will live 100 years. He will survive. Yes, you see, Ramacharya, when he died, he will get up and he will live for 100 years and he would have two children. Saying this, Swamiji gave her Mantrodaka. Mantrodaka means the Charanamrita. Okay. Water sanctified by the holy names of Sri Krishna, holy mantra of Sri Krishna. As soon as she came near the dead body of her husband, she did the prokshan of Mantrodaka given by the seer. So she simply sprinkled, Ramacharya's wife sprinkled the Kundavach or the holy water given by Brahmana Tirtha on the dead body of her husband. She did the prokshan of Mantrodaka given by the seer, and Ramacharya got up as if he were getting up from sleep. So this Ramacharya, who had died, got up as if he was asleep. Afterwards, Vedavyasa Rashi was born to the aged parents and he was handed over to the Matha. Malur, once there lived a king named Kimmarasa. He had a son named Sarangadhar. When Sharangadhar's mother died, Kimmasar, even though he was aged, he married another Rajkumari. But Rajkumari, as she was young, she was not happy with the marriage. She wanted to have Sharangadhar, her husband's first wife's son, for her sexual satisfaction. Because you see that Sharangadhar's mother died, so his father married another girl who was a princess, but she was not satisfied. That girl was not satisfied because her husband was very old. So she wanted the husband's first son to satisfy her lusty desires. When Sharangadhar rejected her request, she told her husband that Sharangadhar had tried to rape her. You see. Now Sharangadhar is a very honest prince, and he's actually Thimma Rasa's son, and very honest. He has no desire to enjoy with his mother, second mother. Understand? But he is stepmother. But she is accusing and implicating him false accusations. She is accusing him of molesting her. Then the king ordered his servants to cut his son into pieces and throw him in the Kanva river. So king became angry. He believed the account of his second wife and he cut his son into many pieces and offered him the Kanva. So the servants obeyed the Lord King's order. Sri Brahmatirtha happened to visit the Kanva river for his army and he saw the prince cut into pieces. Realizing the facts, Swamiji did the Abhimantran of Mrutike on the body of the prince. He simply took the holy dust and holy clay and sprinkled on the dead body of the prince. And he gradually developed his legs and arms, and he was a normal boy afterwards. That's the power of this holy dust and holy clay. So immediately he developed his legs and hands and legs were cut by his father into pieces. But again he developed his hands and legs and he came back to a normal, came back to life with a normal body. It is the same place where which is called Malur, named after the incident. He did the Tara Parihar, famine relief in Vijayanagar, by chanting Parjanya Japa. He did the Narsingha Rajastamba Sthapan in Brahmanya Pura. He did the Pratisthapanya of Mukhya Prani in Brahmanipur along with Shripad Rajru and Sri Vyasaraju. So, very great, inspiring life histories of our Acharyas. Hare Krishna. Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gordamande Hari Bol Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much for attending today. So, Maharaj, can you please do Chaitanya Ananga Mahaprabhu left? Thank you, Hare Krishna.
जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री राधा वल्लभ जी की जय। जय नितला पृष्ठ सद्गुरु श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज गुरुदेव की जय। जिला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जिला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जिला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्री श्री गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जिला पृष्ठम विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। आचार्य की श्री श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय जय सपरिकर श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद ठाकुर जगद्गुरु की जय। प्रेम से श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोवर्धन द्वार सुनात्मक श्री मंडल की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। त्रिदंडी स्वामी शिष्य भक्तिनाथ दंडी महाराज जी की जय। नाम निष्ठ संत शैलदास प्रभु की जय। समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। निताई गौर सिद्धनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। क्षमा करो दया कर कृपा कर रक्षा करो गुरुवे गौर चंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ओम वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवत्ते नमो नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So tomorrow is the Paran of Safala Ekadashi. I was seeing the calendar for Tirupati. The Paran says that from 8 past 8, 8 minutes after 8 o'clock till 10:17. But some calendars were telling that after sunrise and before 9:49. So I would safely say that 8:15 or 8:20 you can break the fast, those who are in India. Maybe I don't know what is the situation about Durban and other places, but you can easily go to this particular website, purebhakti.com, and there you can submit your time zone and your location and you get the calendar. Because this calendar is sanctioned by Gurudev, you can follow it in your country. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, everybody, for attending today. And we'll see you all tomorrow for Dharma classes. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Panchakapa Srivyaste. Upasana Chapatitana Vaishnava.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Shipad Bhaktivedanta Vishnu Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.